I've been involved with Beyond Housing for 11 years. As an organization, next year will be our 25th anniversary. So we're still relatively new and maybe a little bit unknown, but I think we're having a big impact in the community. I pick up the phone, I answer, we have a conversation. It often starts with a cup of coffee and you see where it goes from there. Those conversations have turned into gifts of land, they've turned into partnerships, and they've turned into donations that make all of it possible. It all started with the donation of land, and that allowed us to dream, I guess, a little bit about what could be on that. And we kicked around some ideas and realized that this would be a perfect spot for some stacked townhouses. And so based on that, we decided, okay, well, who would live here? And we reached out to Women's Crisis Services of Waterloo Region and asked if they would be interested in some. We always look for a partner when we're doing a new project. We provide housing. There's so many good organizations in the community that also do other work, and for them, housing is a challenge for them. It's a bit of a stumbling block, so that was the reason for reaching out to Women's Crisis Services. And chatting with her, the wait times in their transitional and shelter, it's increased, I believe, 48 to 57%, something like that over the last 4 years. So finding permanent housing for people so that they can move out of the shelter system to create space for somebody else, certainly a big stumbling block for them, and we're just glad to be part of the solution. I mean, we are actually in a crisis. It's an epidemic. It's been described as such, and so we've got a housing crisis and an intimate partner violence crisis as well. This responds to both of those. Well, the land, actually, we became aware of it potentially coming through an estate almost 6 years ago. So it's quite a long period of time. It actually, the ownership of it just transferred in December of this year. So we started on the quiet campaign with our donors back in the fall to do the work required to get some of the seed funding so that we could put a strong proposal in to the region of Waterloo. So we were successful in that, in getting funding through the region of Waterloo. We also submitted a grant application to the City of Kitchener as well, and we're successful in receiving that as well. So those things all kind of stack up to help make something go forward. The last number of projects we've done have all been apartment buildings. We did a 28-unit addition in St. Jacobs 2 years ago for seniors, corner of Bridgeport and Lancaster, again in partnership with another organization, Parents for Community Living. So often in partnership, but nothing with Women's Crisis Services, and it's been a long time since we did stacked townhouses as well. Well, you can get more properties or more homes onto one property. So this particular piece of land, it's a corner lot. Previously it had a bungalow, and now we're going to be able to put 20 units on that half-acre parcel of land. Pretty interesting what they can come up with. And what's unique about this one is that often you would end up having only a lot of 2 and 3 bedroom units, and with stacks you've got units, stairs going up or down. Here we're going to have some accessible ground floor units, some one bedroom units, and we're also going to have some 4-bedroom units, which are also very difficult to do in a stacked townhouse model. So it's a really interesting mix. And that was in consultation with Jen and Women's Crisis Services as well as the Waterloo Region Housing. So everybody needs housing. A mix of housing options responds to a variety of situations. We'll be looking to do groundbreaking late spring, early summer at the latest. Okay. And it'll be about a 1-year turnaround before people can move in and call it their home. We always have some in the back burner. So like I mentioned, this one, the first conversations with it started 6 years ago. Since then, we've actually completed 2 projects.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we have quite a number of conversations going on right now in the background about what comes next. We do have a $2 million capital campaign. Right now we're at $1.3 million that we've raised. So we've got some work to do, but we've got some momentum, and we just invite people to phone me up if they're curious.